好了，我们现在准时上课。今天呢，我们跟同学们介绍一下美国的 Founding Father， 也就是美国的国父们。美国不是一个国父，它是一个美国建立者的一个群体。那么呢，最近的 SAT 呢，政治性越来越强，所以说呢，他提到了美国口熟能详的这些创立者和他们的纲领性文件会提的越来越多。如果是对他们不了解的情况下呢，在阅读 SAT 的文章的时候呢，就会很吃亏。从这个角度来讲呢，我们把这些美国的孩子从小长大的时候，就是从1年级开始，2年级、3年级这种螺旋式上升的，他们知道的知识，跟同学们补一下。这个第一个是对 SAT 很重要，还有呢，对我们这个班里的同学呢，好几个是来这里边读美高的，在这里读美高的呢的时候呢，就没有机会从小学、初中和高中的这些大家知道的知识，把这个补充起来。那我今天起到的作用呢，就是把这些不连贯的地方给同学们补充一下。所以说我特意找到了这些文件，已经发给张老师和何老师了。然后呢，我们会放到网站上，我们同学们共同学习。好，我们现在是用英文来学习。Founding Fathers of the United States Constitution of and our country's early history。 这一段呢，讲的是美国最早的建国的这一批人，最重要的一些人。我们下边接着课了。第一个我们要讲的是 Paul Revere The portrait painted by John Singleton Copley. Revere was a master silversmith, which is why he's holding a silver teapot in portrait. 美国的小孩都知道 Paul Revere's right. Paul Revere's right. Paul Revere 这个人，他骑马告诉这些新英格兰的民兵，英国的士兵来了。所以说，这个 Longfellow 有一首著名的长诗，过去美国的小孩100多年前一直都是要背下来的。现在呢，在很多的私立学校的课本里边还有出现 Paul Revere。 我们旁边的一个高中就叫 Paul Revere High School。 He's also a symbol of the Boston Tea Party and the fact that he was a member of the Sons of Liberty. This is a very important part in American history. Boston Tea Party and the Sons of Liberty is also very important in AP US history. Okay, Boston Tea Party, they overthrew the East India Company's tea, the British tea, dumped them into Boston Harbor to protest what? To protest taxation from the British government. Their slogan is no taxation without representation. So what that means, if you give me taxation, you force me to pay money to you, then you need to give me representation, which means the privilege to vote, to participate in the government. Okay, in the participation of how to govern ourselves. So that is the Boston Tea Party. Okay, he's also a member of the Sons of Liberty. These are the people who organize themselves to overthrow the British government and establish the United States. Paul Revere. Nessun Hill. Nessun was the first CIA agent in the United States. This is a joke. There was no CIA at that time, which means, but it means Nessun Hill is a spy. It's an American spy to collect information from the British soldiers. And he was captured and he was hanged. Because according to the law of that time, if you are a spy, if you are enemy soldier with uniform, you will have a trial, and most likely you will be put into prison for several years and released. POW have their right, but if you are a spy, spy can be hanged. And Nessun Hill, if I'm correct, he is a graduate from Yale University. Yale University. That means he's a privileged person in New England. But then he worked for the United States, which is struggling to establish. He was quoted as saying, "I only regret that I have but one life to lose for my country." Before his execution. Okay, this picture is a stretch of his execution. He was going to be hung by the British soldier and officers. The British, you see in this picture, wear red uniform. Okay, wear red uniform. And the Nessun Hill dressed as a gentleman. See, that is a gentleman, a well-educated gentleman. So Nessun Hill is a very famous American hero. Next one, of course, Thomas Jefferson. We all need to understand Thomas Jefferson. He is one of the most important founding father in the United States, probably the most educated person. Okay, one of the most educated person, and he studied everything: architecture, mathematics, science. He was trained as a lawyer, but his main study is Latin and Greek. He studied all the classical literature of the Western civilization, Okay. And he's a very good lawyer. He's not a good speaker. He speaks with a stammer. That's why, but he has one of the best writing style in the colonial era. Okay, he established the University of Virginia. And he advocated for the Bill of Rights. And the Bill of Rights is very important founding document, especially first 10 articles. Our class, we already studied the first 10 articles of Bill of Rights, but we need to review. But of course, Thomas Jefferson is the most famous person for what? For the Declaration of Independence. Okay, the Declaration of Independence, which is one of the founding documents, is the Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution. It's the most famous founding document. Of course, Bill of Rights, but Bill of Rights attached to the Constitution, So Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence. He was a gifted writer. Oh, in terms of education, Thomas Jefferson is the one who advocated for a gifted and talent education. He advocated that there should be an aristocracy of intellect. Even though in his document he said all men are created equal. but all men are created equal, are equal in terms of what? People's rights should be respected. Doesn't mean their intellect are the same. Okay? People are born with different potential, but their personality should all be respected in front of the law. Okay? So he was highly critical for the European style of aristocracy. Aristocracy based upon birthright. Okay, if your father is a duke, you will be a duke. If your father is a king, if you're the first son, you can expect to be a king. If your parents are farmers, peasants, serfs, and you will be a serf. That's the European system. And he advocated, doesn't matter how poor or how rich you are, each social class, there is a certain percentage of person, they have higher intelligence. And these people should leave the United States. Okay. Another contribution of Thomas Jefferson is that he doubled the size of the United States. He doubled the size of the United States through Louisiana Purchase. He bought a big chunk of territorial for the United States from Napoleon Bonaparte, the French emperor. Okay, with very little price, very little price in today's term of money. At first, he wanted to buy New Orleans from Napoleon. And Napoleon negotiated with him, okay, how about you increase some money and I give you the whole Louisiana. Louisiana is not one state. It's basically double the size of the United States. Of course, he signed the deal. Okay. He sent Lewis and Clark out to explore the Louisiana Purchase. When he brought the land, he don't know how big they are. So he sent 2 young men adventurers, Lewis and Clark, to go all the way to the Pacific Ocean, from Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. So to make the United States from sea to shining sea. Okay. Thomas Jefferson was also the president of the United States. But this slide didn't say he's also the founding father of the Democratic Party. American is a 2-party system. The 2-party was set up by 2 highly intelligent people and they are enemy. One is Thomas Jefferson. The other is Alexander Hamilton. Okay, Alexander Hamilton. If you want to understand United States, if you want to understand how this country was run and ruled, you have to understand these 2 people, Thomas Jefferson and Alexander Hamilton. Next one. Next slide. Okay. Okay, in order to keep our balance, Abigail Adams is also a founding, you can call her a founding father or founding mother, okay? Abigail had a little formal schooling, but has a quick wit and was a colorful writer. Okay, she don't have a formal school, but United States always have a 3 kind of school systems, Private school. Private school system was established earlier than the public school system. Earlier, Americans have a long tradition of a private education. That's one part. The second part is public school system. Okay, public school system was set up far later. But another school system is homeschool system and self-education. A lot of very smart person, this genius was self-educated. Abigail Adams, you can call her a homeschooled or self-educated. Okay, her son became the 6th U.S. president. She married a president, the 2nd president of the United States, and his son is the 6th U.S. president. Her letter gave us an insight into her thought and the contemporary attitude of the time. She advocated for the right of women in terms of participating in the political process. Okay, her family is from this kind of highly educated aristocratic family. John Adams. Adams was often misunderstood. People thought he was a cold and rude. He and his cousin Sam were leaders of Sons of Liberty. I think he's also a very gifted lawyer. Okay, a lot of these founding fathers are all lawyers, and they all have a common denominator. They were educated in the tradition of liberal art. Liberal art 叫博雅精神、博雅教育。什么叫博雅精神、博雅教育呢？他们学的是古希腊的哲学。拉丁的，也就是说罗马共和国和罗马帝国的统治方式，尤其是罗马法，在罗马法精神指导之下创立起来的英美法系。英美法系，这些人都是 lawyer， 使用的经常是法律的语言，但是同时呢，他们是读了很多的罗马历史、古希腊的哲学。Okay, John Adams was the first to have his son serve as a president also. So he's a president and his son is also a president. His political ideas and policies lasted the test of time. So if you really read his book and his writing, you will be surprised how contemporary he is. John Adams, and his wife is also very smart person. Nathan Allen, famous soldier in the Revolutionary War, is not very famous for his writing. So famous soldier. So a country usually were set up by two groups of people. One group of people who can read and write, who gave the new nation an idea to build upon. The other, you have to have great soldiers. Okay, so his statue is in the United States Capitol, 也就是他的国会山 United States Capitol， 就是他们的议会立法机构。Benedict Arnold, okay, very interesting person. He's so famous that every school children is supposed to hate him. So he's a talent soldier, talent general, American hero. But when he was not promoted as fast as he thinks he deserved, he betrayed his country and sell information to the British. Okay, he turned traitor because he was passed over for military honor and accused of abusing his power and standing. So he sell information to the British and become a traitor and betrayed his country and go to Britain and die there. Okay, very interesting. He's a hero and he's a traitor. I never heard about her when I was educated, But right now, in this age of political correctness, you need to understand, you need to know her, okay? Whately was a slave to a permanent Boston family. She was treated like family, educated, and wrote poetry that was published. She never had true freedom and died impoverished, died poor, but she can write poetry. Samuel Adams. So Adams is a very American aristocratic family, and Samuel Adams, first time I know him is from what? You go to any supermarket, there's a famous brand name of beer called Samuel Adams. Okay, I'm not advocating you guys should drink beer right now because American in the United States, the drinking age is 21. Okay, so don't drink beer. But you need to know Samuel Adams. If you go to college and somebody order a beer, they have Samuel Adams. So it's famous brand name, okay? Made in Boston. He signed the Declaration of Independence and was part of the Boston Tea Party, okay? So the founding fathers are often married to each other. Their family are connected, highly are connected. Later on, I'm going to talk about the Lee family, General Robert E. Lee's family. And his family and the Washington family, they have a very complicated marriage relationship. Okay, so this Adams family have two presidents, many famous founding fathers, famous lawyer, very rich. Not only rich, but intellectually they were dominant figures for many generations. For many generations. John Paul Jones, famous person. Okay. Jones was known as the father of American Navy. He was quoted as having said, "I have not yet begun to fight." What that means? When the United States was established, it was very poor. They were very poor. They have not much money. And to have a navy is a very expensive enterprise. Okay, with a really little ship, very little marine and sailors, John Paul Jones lead his ship from the United States all the way sail to London, going through Thames River and fight with the British Navy, which was the number one navy in the world. Great Britain was the superpower of that age, was the United States, like the United States right now. But John Paul Jones lead his poor navy and almost eliminated by the British Navy. And when his ship was almost sunk, okay, by the British, and the British asked him to surrender, and he famously said, "I have not yet begun to fight." And so he keep on fighting. Okay, so that spirit was the foundation of the US Navy. So you need to know John Paul Jones, a military figure. John Hancock. John Hancock was known for his legible signature, which is very big, the biggest signature on which document? Declaration of Independence. That document, if the founding father failed their enterprise, okay, if they fail their enterprise, they will all be hanged as a traitor. Okay, treason is a high crime in the Western law, especially in the British legal system. They will be hanged. Before that, 100 years ago, they will be hung and their body will cut into 3-4 pieces. Okay, but John Hancock, also very rich gentleman, well-educated gentleman, signed his name very big. That's his signature. So he signed the Declaration of Independence first, and said something to the effect of, let's see if King George can read that. That means he take a risk. If we fail, I sign my name here, they will hang me. So the saying is, we have to hang together, let me work together very tightly, or else we will be hung separately. That means if the founding fathers don't work together, they will be hung like other traitors separately. Okay, separately. John Hancock. Molly Pitcher. Never heard about her when I was educated, but right now is in the old US textbooks, okay? She's supposed to win to war with her husband and brought water to the soldiers. When her husband was wounded, she took his spot as a cannon and keep on fighting. President Washington gave her an award for her courage. So this person keep a balance because most of the famous people are male, okay? The war hero. So she is supposed to be a war hero, okay? Okay, Alexander Hamilton. Last year, there is Broadway musical called Alexander Hamilton, okay? It was so famous. President Obama and his wife invited the whole group to the White House. And the musical was shown all over the major city in the United States. You know how expensive the ticket? $1,000 a ticket, and it's very difficult to get. Okay, I cannot afford it, and I don't have the luck. But I teach the whole lyric to my students. Okay, I teach the whole lyric to my students. But if they perform Alexander Hamilton the musical, we have to pay for the writer, for the privilege of. Oh, Helen, I see that you were boasting that you watched Alexander Hamilton. Okay, just to make me jealous. Just to make me jealous. Okay, just to make me jealous. Hamilton was the nation's first Secretary of Treasury. This person was born an illegitimate son in the Caribbean Sea, and his father abandoned the family and ran away. Okay, he grew up have nothing, no education whatsoever. But he educated himself and get the best education in North America, Central America, and North America. Okay? He's totally self-educated because as illegitimate son, no school will accept him. But he read every book he can put his hand on, and he can read Latin and Greek, and he can write poetry. He self-educated himself in law, and he went to Columbia University, at that time called the Queen's University. At first, he applied for Princeton, which is more famous, okay? But Princeton rejected him. So he went to the Queen's College, studied law, and when he was a student, he wrote a book about law, and that book became the textbook. See that? When he was a student, he wrote a book on law, and that book became the textbook. That's how smart he is. Okay? He died being shot by the vice president of Thomas Jefferson in a duel. He shot the bullet to the air, and Aaron shot him, and he died. Alexander Hamilton built up the American industrialization all by himself. He built the American industrialization. The tariff system, the banking system. He was a bold and creative thinker. His ideas greatly influence American government even today. I think his image is in the $10 bill, maybe 20, I forgot. Okay, $10 probably. Okay, Alexander Hamilton. He built the financial system of the United States, the taxation system of the United States, the banking system of the United States, the industrialization of the United States. Okay, and he's also a famous general. The right-hand man, write that down. The right-hand man of General Washington and the President Washington. When he was 20-something, a college student, smart person, no family, no formal education, from a Caribbean, illegitimate son, okay? Smart people. There's only in his intellect, there's only one competition with Thomas, which is Thomas Jefferson. There's two smart people in this whole group of founding fathers, Alexander Hamilton and Thomas Jefferson. If you are lucky, read his book. And his articles are in the Federalist Papers. There is no other article that is harder to read than the Federalist Papers. And it's in the SAT reading. I don't know why. Okay, it's too hard. When I read it, I got headache. But it's very profound. It's really worth your time. Okay, so this person should be seriously studied, and he has scandal all the time, all his life. Okay, very pragmatic person. He married for money. Okay, he married for money. George Washington, known as the father of the United States, the father of the United States. He was really, what are they talking about? 12th president? He was deeply concerned with helping the young republic to survive and flourish. Okay, his family was the richest family in Virginia in terms of owning land. He's a surveyor of land. His job is to measure land. And his family owned a lot of slaves because in Virginia was controlled by the big plantation owner. And his family owned a lot of the best land in that great, rich state, the richest state in the United States at that time when the United States was established. The most educated, the richest, controlled by the plantation owner, the land gentry class. It's called a land gentry class. You have to have land and education and good family standing and marry each other. Then you are a land gentry, 就是绅士阶层，地主绅士阶层。And they all marry each other. Half of the founding fathers are from one state, which is Virginia. That's why when Virginia later on seceded from the United States and started a civil war, it's a big deal. So the next biggest topic we're going to learn is American Civil War. We studied a little bit, but not enough. We study more, okay? Especially there are students right now is studying AP US history with me right now. I have high hope in my group. So you need to study George Washington. Solely Madison. Not important. James Madison, another Madison family. James Madison is the father of the Constitution. Father of our Constitution. Any of these fathers' name you need to know. Okay, he received many ideas from those he associated with, but the final written copy was in his word. So James Madison, he contributed to the writing of the US Constitution. So you need to memorize his name. James Madison, US Constitution. Thomas Jefferson, the Declaration of Independence. He designed US system of checks and balance. Checks and balance. What is a checks and balance? 三权分立，权力制衡。三权分立，权力制衡。Okay. Executive, US President. Senate and Congress, lawmaking body, and Supreme Court. Okay, 3 branches of government, they check each other. They check each other. It's called check and balance. 三权分立，权力制衡. Okay. These ideas were originally from the Roman Republic. Okay, through Montesquieu, the French lawyer, judge. His biggest contribution was written the spirit of the law, the spirit of the law, okay? So the tradition was from Roman Republic, French, and of course in England, okay? Anglo-Saxon legal system to the United States. So James Madison and his group are well educated in liberal art. Okay, that's where the idea comes from. They didn't design these ideas out of blue. No, 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 no. This idea have several thousand of years of Western intellectual tradition in order to make a fruit in the United States. Okay, James Madison. Benjamin Franklin, the old fox. The old fox. Why I say he's an old fox? This very practical. He represents American spirit because he's very pragmatic. He's a very practical person. He's a scientist. He knows how to printer. He knows how to manage money. He works so hard. He gave young person advice on how to get rich. Okay, how to get rich, how to study. He built the first public library. Write that down. He built the first public library system in the United States. Because he knows educational democracy you cannot survive unless you have educated people. Okay. Oh, he discovered electricity. Okay. That's in all the textbooks. Oh, he's on the $100 bill. So the joke is why the grocery store being robbed? Because of Benjamin Franklin. Okay, because of grocery store accept cash, right? That's why the grocery store was being robbed. It's all because of him. Okay, $100 bill. That means he's very important. $100 bill. He's so shrewd. And some of his advice to young men, I'm not going to say that in front of you, in front of the ladies. Okay, it's not even decent. He's an old fox. Trust me. If you read his original book, he knows how to make compromise. Oh, by the way, he's also a diplomat. When he went to France during the American Revolution, and when other people were fighting in the North American continent, he was sent to France. What he do? Having parties with the beautiful ladies, court ladies. That's his most important job, because in France, you have to influence their husbands through their wives. And all these beautiful ladies and these aristocratic ladies love him, even though he was 70 years old man. Wow, this guy is very shrewd. He dressed very normal clothes, and the French people know how to dress themselves, right? The fashion capital of the United States, and he dressed himself like a frontier man. He makes himself into a clown, okay? And he talk about his scientific discovery and charm these ladies. His influence is so strong. He persuaded the French king to finance American fighting. The French pay the Americans so much money, they bankrupt themselves. So the king got himself his head cut off. Make sense? So that's how powerful this guy is. He was never trained. He don't have any legal degree, no degree. He's also from a very poor family, very poor family. When he was 13 or 14 years old, he worked for his brother who used him like a slave in his brother's printing business. His brother print books. So when he worked for 12 hours for his evil brother, right? Evil big brother, he read everything he can put his hand on. So this is also Benjamin Franklin representing American spirit, to be very pragmatic and almost like a Chinese idea. Use your education to improve yourself. So Benjamin Franklin really believed that the people, through their willpower, can improve themselves through what? Education. That is a very progressive idea. Very progressive idea. So Benjamin Franklin is a jack of all trades and a master of many. So he do everything. And some of them are very practical. He designed a stove, or how to cook stuff, okay? Anything that he can make money. Okay? And everything he touch, he's a master. And he know how to, okay, I'm not going to say something that is not even decent. His advice to young men. Okay? He was the only person who signed 4 of the most important document of the United States, most important document in the US history. Why? Everybody can tolerate him. Some of the founding fathers want to cut each other's throat. Okay? They hate each other so much. But Benjamin Franklin can negotiate with anybody. And he wrote down all his trade secrets in his books. So if you read, and he write a diary, how can he improve his character? how can he discipline himself? How can he make himself from so poor, being so rich? How uneducated he was, and make him one of the most educated person in North America. But his education was very different from Benjamin Franklin. His education are very different from Benjamin Franklin. His education are different from the other lawyers. Okay, I don't even think he have a law degree, and he was not a lawyer. I think he's a scientist. He's a business owner. He owned many business. So he probably began the American entrepreneur spirit. Okay, entrepreneur spirit, Benjamin Franklin. So Thomas Paine, his book, Common Sense, is also in the must-read book list in the SAT reading. Pretty hard reading. Very straightforward language. Okay. So Benjamin Franklin met him in where? Great Britain. And persuade him to come to the United States. He was from a humble beginning. He thinks people in Great Britain don't appreciate him. His heart is full of bitterness. Why is that? Great Britain, British, is a hierarchical society, very rigid hierarchical society, and he don't like it. He's a kind of lower class, middle class talent, whose talent he thinks nobody appreciate him, so he moved. Franklin persuade him to come to United States. Immediately, he advocated United States should break up from his mother country. So his most famous book is Common Sense. What I can use one sentence to summarize this book. Basically, he's saying, hey, you guys are so dumb. You guys in the North America, you have a whole continent, and you have been ruled by a small island. It's stupid. So your destiny is from sea to shining sea, from the Atlantic Ocean all the way to the Pacific Ocean. You can own this whole continent, and you should break away from this small island. You should break away from Britain, which was his home country. Okay. He died very poor. Okay, because he have a very strong character. He make many enemies. But his writing is very powerful. So he contributed greatly to the independence, American independence. His writing, when the American soldiers almost been totally broken, and a lot of soldiers ran away because they have no money, they have no shoes in the winter, have nothing to eat. George Washington and Alexander Hamilton used Thomas Paine's writing to encourage the troop to fight on. Make sense? So Thomas Paine is very important founding father. Okay, I was carried on. Not important. Okay, so I'm going to put all these persons on our website, and you need to read it and ask me any question next class. So this one you need to memorize, because in this age of political correctness, you need to memorize his name. Joseph Brand was a Mohawk Indian leaders who fought in the British Army Okay, in the French-Indian War. Write that down. French-Indian War, also called the 7 Years' War, the long war between France and the British to control North America. Eventually, the British win. So this guy is Native American leader, and he convert into Christianity and become the missionary amongst his own people. So he will be the one who educated his people to make them change into Christian, so-called civilize them. He was a leading member of the League of the Iroquois. Iroquois were an alliance of the Indian tribes, very strong, very powerful Indian group who actually signed a treaty and have a very formal governmental structure. Okay, I talk too much. I need to stop and ask my students to ask me any questions. So I'm going to open the floor for discussion. Any discussion, raise your hand and I will open the floor. Go ahead. Any question?